I've been watching people retire for over 30 years now. Friends, family, colleagues, neighbors. And I've noticed something that bothers me deeply. The ones who end up struggling financially, they didn't earn less money than the ones who ended up comfortable. In fact, some of the most financially stressed retirees I know earned more than I ever did. The difference wasn't their income, it was their purchases. See, there are certain things in this life that look perfectly normal. Everyone buys them. Society tells you that you need them, but they work like termites, slowly, quietly, eating away at the foundation of your financial house, until one day you go to lean on that wall and the whole thing crumbles. Today, I want to talk about 5 things that keep middle-class Americans from building real wealth. 5 things I've watched undermine retirement after retirement. 5 things that, if you stop buying them, could change everything for you. This isn't about deprivation. It's about understanding what's actually happening to your money. Now, here's what makes this so dangerous. These 5 things don't look dangerous. That's the whole problem. They look normal. They look like what successful people buy. They're advertised on every television, on every website. Your neighbors have them. Your coworkers have them. Your family members think you should have them too. And when everyone around you is doing something, it feels safe. It feels like the right thing to do. But I learned a long time ago that if you want to end up where most people end up, just do what most people do. And where do most people end up? According to recent data from the Federal Reserve, about 28% of non-retired adults have no retirement savings at all. None. And among those who do have savings, the median amount for people aged 55 to 64 is only around $185,000. That's not enough, not even close. So if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're probably heading where everyone else is heading, and that's a place you don't want to be. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to make you feel guilty. I just want to show you the math, because once you see the math, you can't unsee it, and then the choice becomes yours. Let's start with the biggest one, the first one, the biggest wealth destroyer I see in modern society, the thing that has kept more middle-class Americans from building real wealth than probably anything else: new cars. Now I know what you're thinking. Here we go. Another old man telling me not to buy a nice car. I work hard. I deserve reliable transportation. A new car is safer. It has a warranty. Well, let me explain. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a car. I'm not even saying you shouldn't have a nice car. What I'm saying is that buying new cars throughout your working life is one of the most expensive decisions you'll ever make, and most people don't even realize it. Let me give you some numbers. According to Kelley Blue Book, the average new car in the United States right now is over $48,000. Let's round down and call it $45,000 to be conservative. Here's what happens to that $45,000 the moment you drive it off the lot. Year 1, your car loses about 20% of its value. That's $9,000 gone in 1 year. Year 2, another 15%. That's roughly $6,750. Year 3, about 12%. Another $4,800 or so. By the end of year 5, that $45,000 car is worth maybe $18,000 to $20,000. You've lost $25,000 to $27,000 in depreciation alone. Now here's where it gets painful. Most people don't buy one new car in their life. They buy many. Let's say you start buying new cars at age 30 and you replace them every 5 years until you're 65. That's 7 new cars. And let's be honest, car prices go up over time. But let's keep it simple. and say you lose an average of $25,000 in depreciation per car. That's $175,000 lost to depreciation over your working life. But that's not even the real cost. The real cost is what that money could have become. Now, imagine something different. Instead of losing $25,000 to depreciation every 5 years, you invested that money. Put it in a simple S&P 500 index fund. That's just a fund that tracks the 500 biggest American companies. Historically, that returns about 10% annually. That first $25,000 at age 30, invested for 35 years at 10%, becomes approximately $700,000. The $25,000 at age 35, invested for 30 years, becomes about $436,000. The $25,000 at age 40, invested for 25 years, becomes about $271,000. The $25,000 at age 45, invested for 20 years, becomes about $168,000. The $25,000 at age 50, invested for 15 years, becomes about $104,000. The $25,000 at age 55, invested for 10 years, becomes about $65,000. The $25,000 at age 60, invested for 5 years, becomes about $40,000. Add all of that up, and you get approximately $1.78 million. Let me say that again. The depreciation on new cars over a typical working life, if invested instead, could become nearly $2 million by retirement. And we haven't even talked about the higher insurance costs on new cars, or the higher registration fees, or the interest you're paying if you financed those cars. I've never bought a new car. Never. Not when I was young and trying to impress people. Not when I had money and could easily afford one. Never. People think this is strange. They say, "You've done well. Why are you driving that?" And I tell them the same thing every time. I say, "This car gets me from point A to point B just as well as a new one. The difference is, this car let me keep my money." And they look at me like I'm crazy. But then I look at their retirement accounts, and suddenly I don't feel so crazy anymore. So if you want to build wealth, stop buying new cars. Buy cars that are 3 to 5 years old. Let someone else pay for that depreciation. Take the difference and invest it. That one decision made consistently over your working life can literally make you a millionaire. But here's what kills me about this. The second thing I've watched destroy wealth over and over again is too much house. Now I know what you're thinking. My house is an investment. Real estate always goes up. It's the American dream. Well, I need to be careful here because I know this is sensitive. Your home is where you raise your family. It's where you make memories. I understand that. But somewhere along the way, we started believing that the more house you buy, the better off you are. That a house is always a good investment. That you should buy as much house as you can possibly afford. And I'm here to tell you, after watching decades of retirements, that thinking has cost people their financial security. Let me explain why. First, let's talk about what too much house actually costs you. According to the National Association of Realtors, the median existing home price in the U.S. is now around $396,000. But many people in middle-class areas are buying homes that cost $400,000, $500,000, even $600,000 or more. Let's say you bought a $500,000 house instead of a $350,000 house that would have been perfectly adequate for your family. That's $150,000 more in purchase price. Here's the real math on that decision. Let's say you get a 30-year mortgage at around 7% interest. That's close to current rates. That extra $150,000 costs you about $998 more per month. Over 30 years, that's an extra $359,000 in total payments. for a house that's bigger than you need. But wait, it gets worse. Property taxes on a $500,000 house versus a $350,000 house, that's roughly an extra $2,000 to $3,000 per year, depending on where you live. Over 30 years, that's another $60,000 to $90,000. Insurance? Probably an extra $500 to $1,000 per year. That's another $15,000 to $30,000 over 30 years. Maintenance costs? The general rule is about 1% of your home's value per year, so a $500,000 house costs about $5,000 per year to maintain versus $3,500 for the smaller house. Over 30 years, that's an extra $45,000. Utilities? More square footage means higher heating, cooling, and electricity bills. Let's say an extra $150 per month conservatively. That's another $54,000 over 30 years. Add it all up, the extra house costs you somewhere between $530,000 and $580,000 over 30 years. And the opportunity cost? If you had invested just the extra monthly mortgage payment of $998 per month for 30 years at 10% average returns, you'd have about $2.2 million. Let me say that again. The decision to buy too much house can cost you over $2 million in potential wealth. I learned this the hard way when I watched my older brother buy his dream home in 1985. Beautiful house, big yard, pool, the whole thing. He stretched every dollar he had to get it. And for years, that house ate his income alive. Every raise he got went into the house. Every bonus. He couldn't invest, he couldn't save. He was house rich and cash poor. When he retired, his house was paid off, but that was about all he had. Meanwhile, I had bought a modest home, invested the difference, and retired with options. I bought my own first house in 1972, a little 3-bedroom ranch. Paid $28,500 for it. My coworkers thought I was crazy. They were all buying bigger places, stretching their budgets. But that house, I paid it off in 12 years. And the money I saved went straight into investments. I love my brother, but I watched that house steal his future. Here's what I tell people. Buy enough house to be comfortable. Not enough house to impress people who don't care about you anyway. Take the difference and invest it. You'll thank yourself in 30 years. Now, let me show you what the math looks like on the next one. The third wealth destroyer is sneakier than the others. It doesn't feel like a purchase at all. It's called lifestyle creep. Now, what is lifestyle creep? It's when your spending rises to match your income. Every time you get a raise, your lifestyle gets more expensive, and you end up no better off than you were before. I've seen this undermine more retirements than almost anything else, because it happens slowly, gradually. You don't even notice it. Let me show you how it works.
Let's say you start your career making $50,000 a year. You're young, you don't have much. You learn to live on that. Then you get promoted. Now you make $65,000. That's $15,000 more per year. But instead of saving that extra money, you upgrade. New apartment, nicer car, better restaurants. Suddenly, you're spending $65,000. A few years later, you're making $85,000. Another upgrade. Bigger house, fancier vacations, more subscriptions. Now you're spending $85,000. By the time you're in your peak earning years, making $120,000 or more, your lifestyle has crept up to match. You're spending everything you make. You feel like you're doing well because you have nice things, but your savings rate is exactly the same as it was when you made $50,000, which is to say, almost nothing. Here's the math that haunts me. If someone making $50,000 saves just 10% of their income, that's $5,000 per year. If they kept saving 10% as their income grew to $120,000, they'd be saving $12,000 per year. But what if, instead of letting their lifestyle creep up, they kept their spending at $50,000 and saved everything above that? At $65,000 income, they'd save $15,000 per year instead of $6,500. At $85,000 income, they'd save $35,000 per year instead of $8,500. At $120,000 income, they'd save $70,000 per year instead of $12,000. Over a 30-year career with raises every few years, the lifestyle creep approach might accumulate $600,000 to $800,000. The anti-lifestyle creep approach, with the same income trajectory, saving aggressively and investing the difference, you could accumulate $3 million or more. Let me show you exactly how. That extra $15,000 a year in your 30s, invested for 30 years at 10%, becomes about $500,000 by itself. The extra $35,000 in your 40s, another $600,000. It compounds, it builds, it grows. Same income, different choices, completely different retirement. I know what you're thinking, but I work hard. Don't I deserve to enjoy my money? Yes, you do. But here's what I learned a long time ago.
The greatest enjoyment money can buy isn't a bigger house or a nicer car. It's freedom. It's waking up one day and realizing you don't have to work anymore. You choose to. It's knowing that if something goes wrong, you'll be okay. It's being able to help your kids or your grandkids without worrying about your own future. That's what money is for. And every dollar you spend on lifestyle creep is a dollar that can't buy you freedom later. I remember my first real raise. It was 1969. I went from making $8,200 a year to $11,000. That was real money back then. I could have moved into a nicer apartment, bought a better car. Instead, I kept living exactly as I had been. That extra $2,800 a year, I invested every penny. And those early investments became the seed of everything I have today. When I got my first big promotion, I was tempted. I really was. I wanted to upgrade everything, but I made a decision. I told myself, I'll live on my old salary for one more year, just one more year, and I'll save every penny of this raise. That 1 year turned into 5 years, and those 5 years of saving every raise became the foundation of everything I have today. So here's my advice. The next time you get a raise, pretend you didn't. Keep living exactly as you were. Save the entire raise. Do this for your whole career, and I promise you, you will retire with freedom. But it gets worse. Let me tell you about the fourth one. The fourth wealth destroyer is something I call paying for convenience, and it's everywhere. Now, I understand convenience. I'm old. I'm tired. Some things are worth paying for, but what I've watched happen over the last few decades is a complete explosion in convenience spending that is quietly draining middle-class savings. Let me give you some specific examples. Food delivery. According to recent industry data, the average American spends about $150 to $200 per month on food delivery services like DoorDash, Uber Eats, and others. That's beyond what they spend on regular groceries. Let's call it $175 per month. That's $2,100 per year.
Premium streaming subscriptions. The average household now has 4 to 5 streaming services: Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, and so on. That's easily $50 to $75 per month or more. Call it $60 per month, $720 per year. Coffee shops. I know. Everyone picks on the coffee. But here's the thing. It's real money. A daily $6 coffee habit is $2,190 per year. Even 3 times a week is $936 per year. Subscription boxes, meal kits,
Clothing boxes, beauty boxes, snack boxes. The average subscriber spends about $60 to $80 per month on these. That's $720 to $960 per year. Premium app upgrades and services. Spotify, Apple storage, fitness apps, meditation apps, premium versions of everything. This easily runs $30 to $50 per month. That's $360 to $600 per year. Stay with me here, because this next part is going to add up in a way you won't believe. Let me add this up. Food delivery, $2,100. Streaming services, $720. Coffee shops, $1,500. Let's be conservative. Subscription boxes, $720. App subscriptions, $480. Convenience purchases, $1,800. Total, $7,320 per year. Now, I know some of you are thinking, I don't spend that much. And maybe you don't. But many people spend more. The point is, these numbers are real for millions of Americans. Let me give you the complete math. $7,320 per year invested at 10% for 30 years becomes approximately $1.3 million. For what? For coffee that you could make at home, for food that you could cook yourself, for subscriptions that you forget you even have, for convenience that you don't even remember. I learned this lesson from my father. He was a simple man, worked in a factory his whole life, never made much money, but he retired comfortable. You know what he told me? He said, "Son, I never paid someone to do something I could do myself."
He fixed his own car. He cooked his own meals. He cut his own grass, not because he couldn't afford to pay someone, but because he understood something most people don't. Every dollar you pay for convenience is a dollar you're trading your future for. And he was right. I'm not saying never buy coffee out. I'm not saying cancel every subscription. What I'm saying is be intentional. Ask yourself, is this convenience worth the future wealth I'm trading away? Most of the time, the answer is no. So here's what I want you to do. Go through your credit card and bank statements for the last 3 months. Add up every convenience purchase, every delivery, every subscription, every impulse buy. Then ask yourself, in 10 years, will I remember any of these purchases, or will I wish I had that money back? The answer will tell you what to do. Now, the fifth one might be the most important of all. The fifth wealth destroyer is the most dangerous because it lives in your head. It's the need to keep up appearances, the need to look successful even when you're not, the need to impress people who, frankly, aren't even paying attention. Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't do that. I don't buy things to impress people. But let me ask you some questions. Did you buy your house partly because of what people would think when they visited? Did you buy your car partly because of how you'd look driving it? Do you wear certain clothes, go to certain places, or own certain things because of how they make you appear to others? If you're honest, the answer is probably yes, at least sometimes. And that's okay. We're human. We're social creatures. We care what others think. But here's what I've learned in 40 years of studying wealthy people. The truly wealthy don't look wealthy. They drive old cars. They live in modest houses. They wear regular clothes because they understood something that most people never figure out. Looking rich and being rich are completely different things, and you usually have to choose one or the other.
Let me tell you about 2 couples I knew growing up. The first couple, let's call them Tom and Linda. They had the nicest house in the neighborhood. New cars every 3 years, designer clothes, vacations to exotic places. Everyone thought they were wealthy. The second couple, let's call them Bill and Susan. They lived in a small house, drove older cars, never seemed to buy anything fancy. People assumed they were struggling. When both couples retired, The truth came out. Tom and Linda had almost nothing saved. They had spent everything. They actually had to sell their beautiful house and move into an apartment because they couldn't afford to maintain it any. Bill and Susan, they had over $2 million saved. They could do whatever they wanted. And you know what they did? They bought a nice little house on a lake. Cash, no mortgage. They spent their retirement traveling, spending time with grandchildren, and never worrying about money for a single day. Same neighborhood, similar incomes over their careers, completely different outcomes. The difference? Bill and Susan didn't care what anyone thought. They knew that the opinions of neighbors and co-workers and random strangers are worthless. What matters is your own financial security. I'm going to share something personal with you. When I was younger, I cared too much about what people thought. I wanted to look successful, and I made some purchases I regret because of it. But somewhere around age 40, something changed. I stopped caring. I started buying things based on whether I needed them, not whether they impressed anyone. I started driving cars until they died. I started wearing the same clothes for years. I started saying no to things that didn't serve my actual goals. And people did think I was cheap. Some people still do. But here's the thing. Most of those people are still working. And I'm not. Most of those people are worried about money, and I'm not. So who's really winning here? Here's the math on keeping up appearances.
Let's say you spend an extra $500 per month over your lifetime on things designed primarily to impress others. The nicer car than you need, the bigger house than you need, the clothes, the watches, the things you bought because of how they made you look. $500 per month is $6,000 per year. Over a 35-year career, invested at 10%, that's approximately $1.9 million. $2 million gone so that people you barely know could think you were doing well. When you think about it that way, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. So here's what I want you to do. Before you make any significant purchase, ask yourself one question. Would I buy this if no one would ever see it? If the answer is no, don't buy it. That thing isn't for you. It's for other people. And you cannot afford to give your retirement away to impress other people. Stop. Just stop. Let me recap what we've talked about today. 5 things that keep middle-class Americans from retiring comfortably. Number 1, new cars. The depreciation alone over a lifetime can cost you nearly $2 million in potential wealth. Buy used cars. Let someone else pay for the depreciation. Number 2, too much house. The bigger home you don't need will drain hundreds of thousands in extra payments, taxes, insurance, and maintenance. And the opportunity cost is another $2 million or more. Buy enough house to be comfortable, not enough house to impress people. Number 3, lifestyle creep. Every time your income goes up, your spending goes up, and you never get ahead. Stop. When you get a raise, save the raise. Live on your old salary. Do this for your whole career, and you will retire with freedom. Number 4, paying for convenience. The subscriptions, the deliveries, the premium everything. It adds up to thousands per year. And over a lifetime, it's over $1 million in lost wealth. Be intentional about what you pay for. Number 5, keeping up appearances. The need to look successful to people who don't even matter. This is the most expensive habit of all because it infects everything you buy. Stop buying things to impress others. Buy things because you actually need them.
Now, here's the hard part, actually doing. Because I've just given you information. Information is the easy part. Anyone can understand this math. It's simple arithmetic, but doing it, living it, that's hard. Because society is pushing against you every single day. Advertisements telling you that you deserve more. Friends buying new cars and taking expensive vacations. Social media making everyone look richer than they are. The voice in your head saying, "What's the point of making money if you can't enjoy it?" People will think you're cheap. They will. Your family might wonder why you're not upgrading your life. Your friends might stop inviting you to expensive outings. You'll feel like you're missing out, like you're depriving yourself. I know, I've felt all of that for years. But here's what I want you to understand. You have a choice to make. You can have the approval of people who are probably struggling financially themselves, or you can have financial freedom. You cannot have both, at least not while you're building wealth. The people who judge you for driving an old car, they're going to be working until they're 70 because they can't afford to retire. The neighbors with the big house, half of them are carrying more debt than you'd ever guess. The co-workers with the fancy lifestyle, they're one job loss away from serious financial trouble. You don't want to be them. Trust me, I chose freedom a long time ago, when I was in my 30s, and I've never regretted it. Not for 1 second. Not when I drove old cars. Not when I lived in a modest house. Not when people thought I wasn't successful. Because now I am free. Now I wake up every day and do exactly what I want to do. Now I don't worry about money. Now I help my kids and grandkids without stressing about my own security. That's what freedom looks like, and it was worth every sacrifice. I started with almost nothing. My first real investment was $500. $500. That was in 1965. I was terrified, but I did it anyway. And that $500, it taught me that I could do this. That building wealth wasn't for other people, it was for me, and it can be for you too. So here's what I want you to do. Today, not tomorrow, not next week, today, look at your spending. Really look at it. Identify which of these 5 things you're buying. The new cars, the too much house, the lifestyle creep, the convenience spending, the keeping up appearances purchases. And stop. Just stop. It won't be easy. Nothing worth doing ever is. But 30 years from now, when you're retired and comfortable and free, you will look back on this moment as the day everything changed. I believe in you. I've seen people in worse situations than yours turn it around. I've seen people with modest incomes retire with freedom because they understood what I've told you today. You can do this. The question is, will you?